Hey everybody. Okay, so last time I had all of the blue animation, or yet no, the green animation in the background completed, um, except for the actual drop down and the actually being able to manipulate the animation values in the animation tab. And this, so that's basically what I got done. It was super simple. Um, anyways, so that, and here it is at work. Let's see if I go to my red one right now. The red is also animated, and red and green are yellow. So let's just go ahead. So now red is saying all the way on the whole time. Let me see. Let me turn red all the way off. And now that's just green. The green is the animated. Now, so this is a great time to then kind of try to understand how light works with all this stuff. So let's go ahead and what I'm going to do. So this is, well, let me go to it. It's easier to say. So this cube is currently what's called a basic mesh. Okay, so we have three kinds of meshes. We have the normal mesh, and then we have, and this is just sort of your entry level mesh that just always looks like this no matter what. It does not care about light. It does not, I don't believe it casts shadows. I believe it just looks like that. And then you have basic mesh, which you can, oh, and the normal mesh doesn't care about color, which you can set the color, but it's going to work that way without any light or anything. So you can make it blue. And so we have a green background. And then you have your Phong mesh. And your Phong cares about that. So since the background is, in my early videos, the background was always black. You couldn't even see the Phong ones. But since basically all the Phong does is absorb light, and it does not, there is no light. If I go to the lights listing, there are no lights. All right, so in order for the Phong to look blue, it would need some kind of light to cast, to be so that it can reflect light. So if I add my light right here, so right now we have a light that's kind of sitting at 0, 0, 0. This mesh right here is at 2 and negative, moving from -5 to 5. So basically I have a light that's kind of below it and behind it. So what I could do is I can move the light to be directly underneath it. And so you can see that now the light comes on and all that. And the background, whether the background, no matter what the color is of the background, it doesn't seem to affect it, right? So, and then, but what if I move it in front? So 3. So my camera is sitting at 5, 0, 0. This thing's floating across above us and at 2, and the light is directly under it at the, but not moving. So if I move this to 3, see now you can see more of it because it's in front. And then let's say I move it up to Y. So now what the cube is here, I'm going to move the light up in front of it. So I believe it's sitting at 2. Let me go look at the mesh. Yeah, sitting at 2. So now you can even see like the glare on it because it's passing right in front of the light. And that is that. That's a pretty good. I think now that I can kind of control the scene and animate it, it's a little bit more obvious. And then let me pause this and then just move it across. So you can see that the light is slowly having more effect, and then it sort of maxes out here. Let's see if I nudge it to the left. So the light is directly in front of the cube. And then it kind of moves out, and now we have a black background and that. So one thing we could do is we could animate the light. Let me just name this so it's a little easier to recognize on the other side. We're going to animate the light, and let's go to animations. And so basically I want the light to kind of move in front of the in front. Oh no, light. Did I animate it? Looks like I have a bug in the animations. Oh, that's X look at, not exposition. Exposition. Okay, so the cube goes from, I don't think that's right. 5. And let's see. But our light is not showing up. It is marked as animated. And let's see, Y position. So it looks like I have a bug in the lights, uh, where the light is not showing up as an animated item. Let's see. For go back to animations, Z, X. I wonder if I delete, just for fun, if I delete the mesh. Oh, I wonder if it was getting cut off. Go ahead and add a mesh back in and make it animated. And then, so it looked like when I added a light after a mesh, for some reason it didn't show up in the drop down list. So that's definitely, I think that's a bug. Sometimes I'm a bit like I might have just made some kind of mistake and I'm a bit early on calling it a bug. But so this is sitting at 0, 0, 0. The camera is looking up here at like above it by 2. So I'm going to change the camera to look at 0, 0. And then I'm going to move the light closer to it. So 1. So there we go. And that is pretty cool. Now the light and the light is starting at x of 0. So let's just move this to -5 and 5. Oh, and we are paused. Okay, and then I'm going to move, this is the mesh, and I'm going to move it to -5 and 5 and 5, and then Y I'm going to keep it constant, 0, and then Z I'm going to keep that constant. The Z position is 1 and moving to 0. I'm going to move that to 1 and 1 and then make this 0 and 0. So basically the light is just staying with it. It's just floating along with it the whole time. And any differences is based on the shape. So like let's say I go ahead and change this mesh over to a sphere and kind of make it like a 0.5. There you go. The rotation isn't quite is a lot, isn't as obvious on spheres. But anyways, so to the code. So yeah, there was a bug. I think this scene items, it wasn't being updated, and it was keeping a reference to the old scene item, even though this scene item was getting created to a new one. And so I had to fix that. That was a very strange little bug. And then for the speed, the green speed, I changed. Yesterday I had made it red speed, just a typo, and now I made it green speed, and so that fixed that. The interfaces, basically, I just had to add green and green colors to the animation interface properties and to the 3 sub properties, and then I had to add the green to this list. This is what drives this drop down list, and now green shows up in there because of that. And last but not least, I had to add this to the supported properties dictionary, and then I had to add some special code to do this. I'd really hoped that this would work for everything. Like all of them would be so consistent that I'd be able to just say this 3 property names, and I end up like, I think there's there's 2 use cases where this is right, and that's for lights and for meshes. But everything else is unique. So it'll be very interesting, like when I add new kinds of meshes, if that will be the thing. So anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.